We start today with a passionate plea. The Bahamian Prime Minister is now calling on nations to step up and fight climate change. He made those comments during a meeting in Africa, attended by 54 different countries. Our One Caribbean News' DeAndre Hamilton reports.
Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Philip Brave Davis, calls on those who have contributed to climate disaster to help mitigate its impact, and his appeal is being hailed as power-packed. Davis was speaking at a business forum at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, CHOGM, in Rwanda on Wednesday. During his address, the Prime Minister discussed some steps which can be taken to help island nations hard hit like the Bahamas when it comes to financing blue-green growth for sustainable islands, noting that they cannot and should not do it alone.
Like people the world over, we want dignity and an agency in determining our lives and livelihoods. With the right investment in infrastructure and access to much-needed funds and technical support, we can take great steps to ensure our survival. But we cannot do it alone. We need partners to support us in our efforts, and we do not think it is too much to ask those who have contributed so much to climate disaster to step forward and step up in partnering with us.
Davis further congratulated the Commonwealth Secretariat on the job it has done in the Commonwealth's Blue Charter and pledged continued support on behalf of the Bahamas.
Publish its Ocean Action Report, an ocean of opportunity. This provided an update on the progress of the Commonwealth's Blue Charter. I congratulate the Secretary General and her team on this excellent initiative and confirm that the Bahamas will continue to give fullest support.
The Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting was held June 19th through 26th. Leaders and delegations from 54 nations across Africa, the Caribbean, and the Americas, Europe, Asia, and the Pacific gathered for the meeting, which hasn't been held in about 4 years. This has also been hailed as a great day for Rwanda, getting global recognition and a boost to its tourism industry.
And that was our DeAndre Hamilton reporting there. Meantime, coast-to-coast protesters spoke out over the weekend against the Supreme Court's decision on Friday to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now in the wake of the ruling reversing that 1973 decision that provided a U.S. constitutional right to an abortion, states are scrambling to clarify their laws. CBS News correspondent Naomi Rusham reports from New York.
From Los Angeles to Cleveland and Huntsville, Alabama, Americans took to the streets nationwide over the weekend following Friday's Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade after nearly half a century.
I feel like I don't have a choice to my own body.
Nobody wants to be stuck in a situation where they're stuck with a pregnancy.
In South Carolina, emotions boiled over, with protesters from both sides of the abortion debate fighting in the streets of Greenville. In Charlotte and around the U.S., abortion rights opponents celebrated the ruling.
For the last 50 years, there's really been a lot of lives lost under a false ruling by the Supreme Court.
At least 13 states have so-called trigger laws that locked new abortion restrictions into place after Roe v. Wade was overturned. Another 13 are likely to restrict access or enact bans soon.
Women are not second-class citizens, and the government is not the one that will decide about the continuation of a pregnancy. You know, there's no equivalent there for men.
What the Supreme Court said was that the Constitution does not give a woman the right to have an abortion.
In apparent defiance of Justice Department guidance issued after the Supreme Court ruling, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem vowed to bar mail-order abortion pills, while saying women should not be punished for seeking them.
Well, meantime, Trinidad and Tobago's Education Minister, Dr. Nyan Gadsby-Dali, has highlighted a link between crime in the Twin Island Republic and gang recruitment in schools. She spoke about the issue, and as she dismissed the opposition's charge that government has failed to prevent a surge in criminal activity in the country. The education minister said societal crime cannot be divorced from schools. Gadsby-Dali said what is happening in the schools is a reflection of what is happening in society.
It's been a fact for many years that gangs recruit In our schools, they recruit both at the primary school level and the secondary school level. That is the reality that we face now, that we have faced for many years. That's a societal problem. That's a Trinidad and Tobago problem. And the presence of the influence of the gangs and so on our schools will result and has resulted in school indiscipline, fights with and without weapons, bullying, disrespect to teachers, gambling, robbery, and it goes on, because what is represented in our society is represented in our schools, and that is a problem that we have been grappling with for almost 40 years.
Now, the education minister recently disclosed that since the return of students to the classroom in April, more than 1,000 students have been suspended for misbehavior in schools. Their infractions include possession of weapons and drugs, engaging in fights, and sexual misconduct. While switching gears now, double-digit price increases at the grocery store. Food price hikes at levels not seen since the inflation-soaked 1970s. That's according to the latest Consumer Price Index. But experts say there are still ways that you can eat healthy without breaking the bank while grocery shopping for your family. Mandy Gaither reports.
Rising food costs hitting wallets hard. The latest inflation report shows the cost of groceries surged by almost 12% for the year ending in May. That's the largest year-on-year increase since 1979, and staples like eggs, fish, and meat seeing the largest jump in prices.
Right now, it's safe to say that just eating is getting more expensive, but you're still able to find some really inexpensive, healthy options.
To cut your grocery bill, registered dietitian Amy Patton says make more meatless meals. Use beans and lentils as protein instead. Cut your own produce. Pre-cut fruits and veggies are pricey. When it comes to produce, consider going frozen or get it canned.
I'd rather someone who's eating on a very tight budget go for a canned vegetable and rinse it off versus not getting a vegetable in at all.
Choose store brands. Patton says many times they're less expensive. Stick to your grocery list. Don't shop while hungry, and stock up on healthy staples that you can use in different meals.
Maybe you're making, a big stew or a big stir fry, and you're using a recipe that calls for a cup of celery, for example. Maybe you take that celery and you dice it up or slice it, and then you have it for snacks with hummus or peanut butter.
Now, Patton says another way to save is to try in bulk when you grocery shop, or bulk in any way possible. If your store has bulk bins, she says you can save money if you bring your own container and scoop out the amount that you need.